Welcome to the strategy series video on using the footprint chart to spot reversals. Before we begin, I want to explain a few things. The footprint is a chart just like a bar or candle chart, except that it possesses very distinct advantages. This video will focus on these advantages and differences since the graphical format of the footprint may be new to you. I will show you some of the things that are unique to the footprint and provide ideas on how you may begin applying it. Keep in mind that all technical indicators and drawing tools can be applied to the footprint chart. There's nothing you cannot do with it. Everything you already use and do with your current charts can be accomplished with the footprint chart. The added benefit will be the resolution of real-time data that the footprint chart will provide you and the confidence acquired by seeing the footprint chart information. Make no mistake, once you see and understand the pure transparency and manner in which the footprint chart conveys price and volume data, you will be a believer and wonder how you managed to do without it all this time. The first strategy we're going to look at is called the delta divergence strategy. This strategy is unique to the footprint in that it shows how and where momentum turned in the market, where the market went from sellers to buyers. Now, the specific rules for this strategy are in the knowledge base if you wanted to dig into it. If you just go to our knowledge base, which is located under the support tab, and do a search for delta divergence, you can read more about this particular strategy. The idea, though, is, and the signals that we'll look at, are based upon new highs or new lows for the day, and instances where we have a positive delta, as you can see right here, at a new low, new price low, or a negative delta at a new price high. So we'll scroll back in time, spend a few minutes, look at a few examples, and see the types of signals that were generated on this chart. The only two things I've really done to this chart besides having this delta divergence indicator applied is I've applied a footprint bar statistics indicator. This is in the technical indicator list, and I have just the total delta showing. And the only other thing I've done is add a volume, the volume histogram at the bottom of the chart. And this again is in the technical indicator list as well. So if I scroll back in time, I'm just going to go to the left. Let me change this to automatic scaling so that I can scroll back. And you can see as I go the signals that were produced, and I'll explain why this signal was, just to give you an idea, because this video is on reversals. So the idea behind the delta divergence is you're getting a momentum shift where the market was experiencing some selling, in this case putting a new low for the day, and when this bar closed it had a positive delta, as you can see right here where the cursor is. It doesn't matter what the volume was, it doesn't matter anything except that it put in a new low for this bar, a new low or equal to new low, and it closed with a positive delta. That would produce the signal. The idea is you're seeing buyers step in at low prices and looking for some sort of bounce or reversal. So let me just scroll back. This is today's market, and we'll just scroll and you can see some of the signals that were generated. Here's one that didn't work. Here's one that did, just to give you an idea. Here's another one. You can see the market sold off here. You can see the string of selling. Notice how the selling, though, the delta, notice how it's lighter colored here. The selling had moderated. It wasn't as strong. And then in this bar we'd seen buyers step in, and we got a bounce. Now to look at this another way, I'll change this to a footprint profile. You can see the same information, same signals, it's just more of a volume distribution with a delta, and you can see what that looks like. So why don't I just keep it here and I'll scroll back. Here's a sell. I would highly recommend reading more about this technical indicator or this custom indicator in our knowledge base under delta divergence, and if it's something you can program, you can. Otherwise, you're welcome to purchase this indicator. It's a one-time purchase that'll work with a Pro or Pro Complete license of Market Delta. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at another footprint-specific reversal strategy. This is one that takes a little more acuity and will be primarily geared towards those watching and trading really every price and watching things develop in real time versus relying on an indicator. But what this one will be, we're looking for supply areas where supply is overcoming demand or demand's overcoming supply. So it's a little more advanced, but naturally reversals are going to occur at swing highs or swing lows, or lows of days and highs of days, or possibly retests of those of critical levels. So one of the things that's real evident on the footprint, especially in the bid-ask footprint, which is what I have, and actually I'll zoom in a little bit so everybody can see. If you look right here, you notice the balance of buyers and sellers. There are almost 3,400 contracts traded on the bid and only 500 at the ask. So we're at new lows for the day, and you're seeing heavy selling. Notice this. Notice the trading taking place in here. You see heavy selling into the bid, but price isn't able to advance. So one way to interpret this, despite the fact that it's red and you see all the trading on the bid, it's basically showing you that there's buyers present. They're just putting limit orders in and they're absorbing the selling. They're absorbing the supply in the market. So there is passive demand. That would be one way of thinking of it. So when you see this a big flip-flop of volume on the bid versus the ask with no follow-through or little follow-through, notice it traded just a few contracts below, and then in this case we got that delta divergence. That's a nice signal and short-term reversal. And you can see in this case it was good for close to 7 points in a matter of about half hour, 25 minutes or so. It's always important, I think, when you take these reversal trades to reference what the delta is doing. The delta is the net buying or net selling for these bars, for each bar. And I like to see when I get a reversal, are you seeing the delta remain positive? In this case, a buy signal with positive delta. Or in the case of a sell signal or sell reversal, looking for delta to remain negative to confirm that the momentum is intact and moving price lower. Okay, so now I've changed the chart to a footprint profile, and this is a perfect example of what we just looked at, except from the opposite direction. So here's a market. You can see what it was doing, and then notice how it broke out. You can see the buyers really stepped in when the price took out these highs. As you can see, increased volume and real aggressive buying. Notice how thin the trade was leading up to it. So it was a quick trade up through here. Some stops probably hit, and the market traded up. And then look at how this bar looks. You see all this aggressive buying, good volume for each bar. The price isn't able to advance. Notice the delta that we see in this bar. And then we saw some selling enter, which is a telltale sign that we may have seen all these aggressive buyers run into a good amount of supply. The supply is absorbing the demand. When you see this type of activity, the expectation is you should see price higher fairly soon. However, this is, like I said, a telltale sign of the last buyer to buy a lot of times, especially after the fact the market had just rallied 7 points. And so we look to see what does the market do in the next few minutes. And we can see it just took out these highs by a few. And then, let's look. You can see the sellers came in and took price down fairly quickly. So there is quite a bit of discretion here in being able to read this. But just the fact that you can see inside these bars, or see inside the chart as we like to say, and you spend a little bit of time getting to learn these, and then apply some basic rules as to what you might expect based on certain price and volume behavior, things become much more clear. Okay, let's scroll back and look at an example of a market. And I'm going to talk real basic and what you should expect on these reversals. What should these bars look like? In the case of a sell, we would like to see certainly a negative delta, which we did see down here. But I like to see the composition of the bar show me some selling intra-bar, and you see that here. Notice the bar closed lower too. The very next bar, or not the very next bar, but the one after that, they test, you see selling, close on its low, and there was your reversal. So these are all short-term plays, but you could be looking at these on some longer time frames and you'd see similar patterns. One of the things you'll notice just looking at the reversals, the short-term rotations you see on this chart. Look at the composition of this bar. It kind of capped out the move up. This one here, you saw some buying, positive delta. So it really acts as a good gauge to see the color and the composition of these bars to help confirm reversals. Of course, we could have all the technical indicators that we may want on here. We could have moving averages, we could have pivots, value areas, whatever it may be, MACDs, all the different tools that you're used to. I'm showing this in more of a purist manner right now and trying to talk you through so you can better understand the footprint and the type of information it's actually conveying to you. Ultimately, it's up to you on how you're going to specifically apply the footprint to your style of trading. Each of us has our own unique way of doing things, and the footprint really can help you leverage and find an edge for your own trading. Market Delta's job is to provide you with the best tools for that job. You owe it to yourself to use the best tools out there and ones that provide you with the cleanest, most accurate portrayal of market activity. I sincerely hope the ideas presented in this video will allow you to begin making better use of the footprint chart and hopefully come up with some unique ideas of your own. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video and make a great day.